Okay, let's start. Okay, so right now we need to discuss about flow lines. Just like what I emphasized earlier, flow lines indicated by straight lines with arrows to show the direction of the data flow. And also, an ovals is located with the name, the arrowhead. This one, the arrowhead, is sometimes not shown when the direction is of flow is clear. So, used to connect blocks by exiting from one and entering another. So, this is a no-no. I want you to make sure to use an arrow so that for me to know what is the next operation. Okay, next one, terminal block. For terminal block, it is actually ovals or rounded rectangles used to indicate the start and the end of the module or program. Please take note that that's why it's called terminal block, because if we will give a real life example, it is muna siya ang ginatawag natong south bus o north bus. Kung asa mo nagsugod dito apon mo uman. So it more siya alpha and omega, right? So of course, if you try to start a program, of course you need to make sure that there should be an end. Kung wala siya end, infinite na siya, 'di ba? An oval is labeled with the name of the module at the start, just like this, start. And the last one, it's the end. And of course, terminal block, the end is indicated by the word end or stop for the top or control module. So you can just, instead of end, you can also here, sorry. Oh, what happened? You can also put here, stop, like that. Instead of end, pwede kayo mamupili. Next one, initialization block. Initialization block, it is used for declaring, initializing variables needed to solve a certain process. For initialization block, this is actually important because you need to declare a specific variable. So if you will try to declare a variable, of course, there should be an initialization block. So normally you will have this kind of symbol, right? Inside that symbol is your declaration. For example, what is the value of x? X has a value of 10, right? You can just include that one in the initialization block. Or if in case that the x is not 10, we can also include y is equivalent to 0, for example. Okay, so if we will talk about declaration, it's a binding of an identifier to the information that relates to it. I'm stating a variable name to be used. So again, we will need to use a variable. I know that you are familiarized, a variable, it's quite familiar to you all because I think it was discussed already in your mathematics subject. But here in programming, if we will talk about variable, it's actually a temporary storage of the value. So if we will talk about variable x equals to 10, our identifier, it's for the literal, we have it's the x, then we have the value 10. Next, if we will talk about initialization, it is a set or to set a starting value of a variable. So we need to set the starting value of a variable. For example, y is equivalent to 0. So you set the starting value of y. To prepare a computer or printer for use or to boot, and also to format a storage medium such as a disk. Next one, process block. For process block, the rectangle indicates a processing block and has one exit and one entrance and one exit. So basically, for the process block, it contains the mathematical operations and all other processing operations that your program needs. Okay, so for example, if there is a calculation to compute your age after 10 years, for example here, we can just put here age equals age plus 10, like that. So we can just insert that one into our process block or a rectangle shape. Okay, just like this also shown in our presentation. We have x equals y plus z. We also have a equals 18 because the b later on has a formula that needs that the a will be minus to 2, just like that. Again, it only has one entrance and one exit. Next one, input and output block. Don't forget about this, because again, in your flowchart, there should be an input coming from the user and there should be an output. One of a good quality, or one of a guide to have a good algorithm is to have an output. So if your algorithm has, or if your flowchart has an output, of course, it is good. Basically, it is good. So input and output block. The parallelogram indicates input to and output operations. So has one entrance and one exit. So basically, this one, when you say get, if you will use this word get, one moment. If you will use get, normally this is for inputting. Aside from get, you can also put here ask, like that. Of course, you need to ask input from the user. In display, yes, you need to use, or you can use display or other synonym for display. For example, we can also use show, like that. Okay, please take note on that. Next one, the decision block. The decision block, it's actually the symbol of it. For this one, it's a diamond. It indicates a decision. It has one entrance and exactly two exits from the block. So if you will see this, if you will check my presentation, we use a decision block here, a diamond. So this part, if the condition is true, if the result of the condition here is true, of course it will go directly to the next process block, because this is rectangle. If the condition here it's false, if the result of the condition here it's false, it will go directly to this action, to this process block. Okay? Next one. Connectors. For connectors, this is not dili kayo ni siya kadalasang ginagamit, but I will just show you how to use it. So for connectors, the circle is used as a connection point between two sections of a flowchart that are not adjacent or closely related to each other, used to enhance readability. For example, for this one, For example, no, I will give you an example here. This is your paper. So, daghan na kayo mag flowchart or daghan na kayo mag symbols na butang diha. Imagine na lang. Then, here, naamoy connector. Ang connector ninyo, it's A. This is page number 1. For page number 2, kani siya, sa page number 2, gamiton niyo si connector dire. A. So, ang meaning ana, connected lang ang first page to the second page. Then, continue your symbols here. For example, like that. Okay? So, that is the connectors.